Gaslighting. Gaslighting. Think about it. Think about how sometimes people try to gaslight you, or you may gaslight somebody else. Well, that's what we're talking about on this morning. Good morning, everybody. It's time for Monday morning manna. It is Monday morning. Happy Monday morning to you, and we got some manna for you on this morning. And this morning is all about God's gaslighting. God's gaslighting. Well, we're going to talk about that here in a moment. But before we do that, I want to just get into it and greet some folk on this morning. How's Monday morning for you? Where did you go to church? What did the man of God, woman of God preach on yesterday? Put it in the chat area. Just want to hear from you. Good morning, Ella. How are you? Good morning, Ramona. How are you? Good morning, Vaughn. How are you? CC, how are you? Good morning, Brother Pope. How are you? Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Good morning, Angela. How are you? What did the man or woman of God preach yesterday? And how did it bless your soul? Put it in the chat area. But as you're doing that, I want to just say to you, gaslighting. How many of you know what that term means? Tell me. How many of you know what that urban or very cultural term means? Good morning, Carolyn. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Gerald. How are you on this morning? It's a great morning on this morning. Good morning, Liz. How are you? Good seeing you on yesterday back in the house. Good morning, JR. How are you? Again, good morning, Vicky. How are you on this morning? Denise, how are you? Verena, how are you on this morning? Guys did a great job yesterday. Was a It was a different approach, but that's what we do in December for our Advent sermon and worship series. I'm really enjoying it. If you did watch it, or were you in worship with us on yesterday at New Life, tell me what you think. Good morning, Francine. How are you on this morning? Jay Chapman, how are you? Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Dawn, how are you? Fawn, how are you? LaFawn, how are you? Minister Sent, how are you on this morning? Okay, Angela said the results of believing and loving is victory. Okay, good, good. God's gaslighting. What do you think gaslighting means? What have you heard that it means? Tell me. I want to see that before I get into it. About God's gaslighting. You already know I'm gonna give you the text to talk, the takeaway. But a little different on this morning, just a little different on this morning. Good morning, Lydia. How are you? Good morning, Elder Mobley. How are you? What is gaslighting? Gaslighting. Tell me, what do you think? I want to just see it before we get into the manna on this morning. That's right. The message, Liz, was about how your plans will change, how your dreams, the dreams you may have, can change. All right, I'm still waiting. Y'all need to talk to me. Say something. I'm waiting. What do you think gaslighting means? I want to hear someone say that. Let me just wait and see. I don't have all morning now. Y'all got stuff to do, so do I. So let me hear from you. Brother Nesbitt, how you doing on this morning? Lydia, how are you on this morning? I'm still waiting, still waiting. Good morning, Zulika. I hope that, or Z. Yeah, I'll stick with Z. I'll just stick with Z. How about that? I'm still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Give me a minute here. What does gaslighting? Good morning, Pastor Mac in the house. All right. Uh, Angela, you don't have a clue what gaslighting means? All right. You've not heard of that before? All right. It's when someone is trying to pump you up. They're trying to pump you up sometimes in a kind of a false way. It may or may not be real, but they are gaslighting you. They're gaslighting you. Well, this morning it's all about the fact that God is gaslighting. God is gaslighting. Here is the text to take away. The text is Isaiah 43:2. I will be with you. I will be with you. There is a litany of things that is listed in Isaiah 43:2. He's talking to the nation of Israel and indirectly talking to us. God begins to gaslight them. Story, and I'll come back. I remember one time in ministry, I was just down. I was down. There was a lot going on, and I wasn't my usual on high and really feeling great. And I was really feeling low, kind of sad. And I remember Minister Dagny asked the men. It says it was Father's Day or my birthday. I'm not sure which. It might have been Father's Day, and she said to the men, in addition to blessing Bishop financially, why don't you also write an encouraging word to him? It it was so timely that they gaslighted me with God's word. They wrote scriptures that really gaslighted me. Let me tell you how God gaslights you. He created you, Genesis 1:27, in his own image. Not in an image of an animal, of a beast, or what have you, but in his image. He gaslighted you because he created you in his image. He formed you in Psalms 139:14. He says he fearfully and wonderfully made you in your mother's womb. He redeemed you. In First Corinthians 6:20, he says, I paid a price. I exchanged you with my son. I gave up my son for you. I gave up my son for you. Not only that, he gaslighted you 7 ways. Here we are. Here's the fourth one. He called you. He called you. He called you. How about that? It is so important when someone knows your name, but he didn't stop there. Not only did he call you in Second Peter 1 and 10, he tattooed you in the palm of his hand. He called you by name, then tattooed your name in the palm of his hand in Isaiah 49 and 16. We see that as someone tattooed you. You better be careful because that relationship may not last. God says, mine will last for eternity. I'm going to gaslight you to the point I tattooed your name in the palm of my hand. Why is that? Because here he is, because I love you. He says, I love you in John 3:16. For God so loved the world. And here is the seventh and last thing, how God has gaslighted us. He saved you, that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. I don't know what's going on in your holiday time, whether you're up, down, in the middle, or just not sure, going through some things, but God gaslights you. He gaslights you. What's your takeaway? Your takeaway is this: don't you worry about what others say, because he's already said enough about you. God has gaslighted you. If this bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. Share the manna. Share the manna. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. God bless you. Bye now.